Oh, thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. I raise no voice at dawn except in thy commemoration and praise. Thy love encompasseth me, and thy grace is perfect. My hope is in thee. 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 May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm
traces, a circle in the sand, heaven spoken through the wise one's hand on the shore of oneness. I leave myself behind and step inside. There are traces, a remedy divine, living waters. He unseals the choice wine, divine healer. His finger on the pulse of all mankind. If thou lovest me, turn away from thyself. And if thou seekest my pleasure, regard not thine own, that thou mayest die in me, and I may eternally live in thee, eternally live in thee. Unravel secrets of unity and peace under the branches of the divine low tree, the gentle breezes whispering celestial designs. And I approach the circle, its warm embrace on the shore of oneness, by the sea of grace, through rings of fire. I hold on to your hand and step inside. If thou lovest me, turn away from thyself. If thou seekest my pleasure, regard not thine own, that thou mayest die in me, and I may eternally live in thee, eternally live in thee, eternally.
The time hath come. The time hath come when, as a thank offering for this bestowal, ye should grow in faith and constancy, as day followeth day, and should draw ever nearer to the Lord your God, becoming magnetized to such a degree, and so aflame that your holy melodies in praise of the beloved will reach upward to the company on high, and that each one of you, even as a nightingale in this rose garden of God, will glorify the Lord of hosts, will glorify the Lord of hosts, and become a teacher of all who dwell, of all who dwell, of all who dwell on earth.
Oh, my servant, free thyself from the fetters of this world. Oh, my servant, free thyself from the fetters of this world. Free thyself from the fetters of this world. Oh, my soul, free thyself from the fetters of this world, and loose thy soul from the prison of self, the prison of self. And seize thy chance, for it will come to thee, come to thee. Seize thy chance, for it will come to thee, come to thee no more.
Test, mic test. Mic test.
If it be thy pleasure, if it be thy pleasure, make me to grow as a tender herb. If it be thy pleasure, if it be thy pleasure, make me to grow as a tender herb in the meadows of thy grace. Ooh, ooh, of thy grace. Ooh, that the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will may stir me up. The gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will, that the gentle winds of thy will may stir me up, may stir me up. Ooh, ooh, may stir me up. To conformity with thy pleasure, oh, and bend me into conformity with thy pleasure, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness may be wholly directed by thee, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness may be wholly directed by thee.
Give us a realization of unity, that we may see no one save thee. Give us a realization of unity, that we may see no one save thee. Make us rich in thee. Glory be to thee for thy manifestation of love to mankind. O thou who art our life and light, verily in thee we will find comfort and strength. Verily in thee we will find comfort and strength.
If it be thy pleasure, if it be thy pleasure, make me to grow as a tender herb. If it be thy pleasure, if it be thy pleasure, make me to grow as a tender herb in the meadows of thy grace. Ooh, ooh, of thy grace. Ooh, that the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will may stir me up. Oh, the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will, that the gentle winds of thy will may stir me up, may stir me up. May stir me up. And bend me into conformity with thy pleasure. Oh, and bend me into conformity with thy pleasure, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness may be wholly directed by thee, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness may be wholly directed by thee. Soon will a handful of days, our vanishing lives be gone, and we shall pass into the hollow that is dark. For those who speak no more, and wherefore we must bind our hearts to the manifest beauty and kindle love's flame, and kindle love's flame, and burn away, and burn away, and burn away.
son of being. With the hands of power I made thee, and with the fingers of strength I created thee, and within thee have I placed the essence of my light, the essence of my light. Be thou content, be thou content with it, and seek naught else. For my work is perfect, and my command is binding. Questioning not, nor have a doubt thereof. Questioning not, nor have a doubt thereof. Is there any remover of difficulties? Say God. Is there any
هل من مفرج غير الله
remover
غير الله
of difficulties? Say God. Praise be God.
قل سبحان الله
He is God.
وبالله
All are His sons,
كل عباد له
and all abide by
وكل بأمره قائم difficulties. Save God.
O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. I raise no voice at dawn saving thy commemoration and praise. O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. I raise no voice at dawn saving thy commemoration and praise. Thy love encompasseth me, and thy grace is perfect. My hope is in thee. O God, give me, O God, give me a new life at every instant, and bestow upon me the breaths of the Holy Spirit at every moment. O God, give me, O God, give me a new life at every instant, and bestow upon me the breaths of the Holy Spirit at every moment, in order that I may remember.
Thank you for your attention. Good evening, everybody. Yeah. I think it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. The family and relatives of the late Dr. Brian John O'Toole, representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, representative of the Government of Guyana, members of the Baha'i community, the staff of School of the Nations and Nations University, current and past students of Nations, colleagues in education, friends and loved ones, welcome and good evening. Before we proceed, I wish to acknowledge, first and foremost, the family of Dr. Brian O'Toole. Thank you for allowing us to gather in this space with you. Please know that you are surrounded this evening by a wide circle of care, respect, and quiet solidarity. We hope that the words, music, and reflections shared tonight may bring moments of reassurance, moments of peace, and serve as a gentle reminder of how deeply Dr. O'Toole's life has touched so many. We are gathered here this evening in stillness and reflection to honor the life of Dr. Brian John O'Toole, born September 9th, 1954, and ascended on January 10th, 2026. And to also turn our thoughts to the deeper spiritual truths that offer meaning and comfort in a moment of loss. The essential identity of every human being is a rational and immortal soul, which is entirely out of the order of the physical creation. Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, uses the metaphor of the sun to explain the relationship between the soul and the body. The soul of man is the sun by which his body is illumined, from which it draweth its substance, and should be so regarded. It is through the exercise of the powers of the soul that human progress is achieved. Abdul Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah, has said that the soul can discover the realities of things, comprehend the peculiarities of beings, and penetrate the mysteries of existence. All sciences, knowledge, arts, wonders, institutions, discoveries, and enterprises come from the exercise intelligence of the rational soul. We are able to reflect divine attributes to the extent that we cleanse the mirrors of our hearts, of our minds, through prayer, through the study and application of sacred scriptures, the acquisition of knowledge, efforts to improve conduct, and to overcome tests and difficulties, and also our service to humanity. Each individual life begins when the soul associates itself with the embryo at the time of conception. But the association is not material. The soul does not enter the body, nor does it occupy the physical space. When death occurs, the body returns to the world of dust, while the soul continues to progress in the spiritual worlds of God in an eternal journey towards perfection. Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith, teaches that our days on earth are a period of preparation for the worlds to come. Through our choices, through our relationships, our trials, and our acts of service, the soul acquires spiritual attributes. These attributes such as love, justice, humility, and compassion. These qualities are true wealth of the human being, and they accompany the soul throughout the worlds of God. The world beyond, Baha'u'llah tells us, is as different from this world as this world is different from that of the child while still in the womb of its mother. Just as the womb provides the environment for a person's initial physical development, the phenomenal world is the arena within which we develop the spiritual characteristics and capacities that we need on for our onward journey. Both here and in the next life, we advance with the assistance of God's bounty and also His grace. Also, important to the progress of our souls in the next world are the good deeds carried in our names here on earth, and the sincere prayers of our families and also our friends. From this perspective, friends, death is not understood as an ending, but as a transition. The soul's passage from the limitations of the physical world into a wider spiritual reality. Baha'u'llah offers this assurance: know thou that the soul of man is exalted above and is independent of all infirmities of body or mind. It will continue to exist after the body has been returned to dust. The selection of writings for this night of reflection are from the Baha'i faith. And as we move forward this evening, may we be comforted by the assurance that a life lived in faith and a life lived in service does not end. It transcends. Its influence continues in the hearts it has touched, the institutions it has strengthened, and the future it has helped to shape. May this understanding bring us solace, unity, and renewed purpose. On behalf of the family, the School of the Nations, Nations University, and all who were guided by Dr. O'Toole's vision, thank you all for being here. This evening has been thoughtfully prepared as a continuous act of remembrance and reflection. Through music, sacred readings, prayers, and moments of quiet contemplation, we invite each person present to reflect inwardly on the meaning of a life lived in service to humanity. We invite you to receive what follows in silence and reverence, allowing the words, music, and essence of the program to carry us together through this time of remembrance. Thank you for your presence, your respect, and your quiet companionship this evening.
O thou provider, O thou forgiver, a noble soul hath ascended unto the kingdom of reality, and hastened from the mortal world of dust to the realm of everlasting glory.
O Son of Justice, whither can a lover go, but to the land of his beloved? And what seeker findeth rest away from his heart's desire? To the true love, a reunion is life, and separation is death. His breast is void of patience, and his heart hath no peace. A myriad lives he would forsake to hasten to the abode of his. O Son of Justice, whither can a lover go, but to the land of his beloved? And what seeker findeth rest away from his heart's desire? To the true love, a reunion is life, and separation is death. His breast is void of patience, and his heart hath no peace. A myriad lives he would forsake to hasten to the abode of his beloved, his beloved, his
consider that after the death of the body, the spirit perishes is like imagining that the bird in a cage will be destroyed if the cage is broken, though the bird has nothing to fear from the destruction of the cage. Our body is like the cage, and the spirit is like the bird. If the cage becomes broken, the bird will continue and exist. Its feeling will be even more powerful, its perception greater, its happiness increased.
In the beginning of his human life, man was embryonic in the world of the matrix. There he received capacity and endowment for the reality of human existence. The forces and powers necessary for this world were bestowed upon him in that limited condition. In this world, he needed eyes. He received them potentially in the other. He needed ears. He obtained them there in readiness and preparation for his new existence. The powers requisite in this world were conferred upon him in the world of the matrix, so that when he entered this realm of real existence, he not only possessed all necessary functions and powers, but found provision for his material sustenance awaiting him. Therefore, in this world, he must prepare himself for life beyond, in which he needs in the world of the kingdom must be obtained here, just as he prepared himself in the world of the matrix by acquiring forces necessary in this sphere of existence, so likewise the indispensable forces of divine existence must be potentially obtained in this world.
O Son of Man, thou art my dominion, and my dominion perisheth not. Wherefore fearest thou thy perishing? Thou art my light, and my light shall never be extinguished. Why dost thou dread extinction? Thou art my glory, and my glory fadeth not. Thou art my robe, and my robe shall never be outworn. Abide then in thy love for me, that thou mayest find me in the realm of glory.
Thou hast, moreover, asked me concerning the state of the soul after its separation from the body. Know thou of a truth that if the soul of man walked in the ways of God, it will assuredly return and be gathered to the glory of the Beloved. By the righteousness of God, it shall attain a station such as no pen can depict or tongue describe. The soul that hath remained faithful to the cause of God and stood unwaveringly firm in his path shall, after his ascension, be possessed of such power that all the worlds which the Almighty hath created can benefit through him.
Blessed is the soul which, at the hour of its separation from the body, is sanctified from the vain imaginings of the peoples of the world. Such a soul liveth and moveth in accordance with the will of its Creator, and entereth the all-highest paradise. The maids of heaven, inmates of the loftiest mansions, will circle around it, and the prophets of God and his chosen ones will seek its companionship. With them that soul will freely converse, and will recount unto them that which it hath been made to endure in the path of God, the Lord of all worlds.
Know it thou that the soul of man is exalted above, and is independent of all infirmities of body or mind. That a sick person showeth signs of sickness is due to the hindrances that interpose themselves between his soul and his body. For the soul itself remaineth unaffected by any bodily ailments. Consider the light of the lamp. Though an external object may interfere with its radiance, the light itself continueth to shine with undiminished power. In like manner, every malady affecting the body of man is an impediment that prevented the soul from manifesting its inherent mind and power. When it leaveth the body, however, it will evince such ascendancy, and reveal such influence as no force on earth can equal. Every pure, every refined and sanctified soul will be endowed with tremendous power and shall rejoice with exceeding gladness.
These material bodies are composed of atoms. When these atoms begin to separate, decomposition sets in. Then comes what we call death. With the soul, it is different. The soul is not a combination of elements. It is not composed of many atoms. It is of one invincible substance and therefore eternal. It is entirely out of order of the physical creation. It is immoral.
To allay the anguish of my soul. Ooh, thou art my highest aspiration. Oh my God, oh my God. My heart is wedded to none save thee, and such as thou dost love, I solemnly declare my life and death are both for thee. Ooh, they are for you. They are for you. For you.
Anybody can be happy in a state of comfort, ease, health, success, pleasure, and joy. But if one will be happy and contented in the time of trouble, hardship, and prevailing disease, it is the proof of nobility.
And now I give you a commandment which shall be for a covenant between you and me, that ye have faith, that your faith be steadfast as a rock that no storm can move, and nothing can disturb, and that it endure through all things. As ye have faith, so shall your powers be. As ye have faith, so shall your blessings be as ye have faith, as ye have faith, faith. Even should you hear that your Lord had been crucified, be not shaken in your faith, for I am with you always, living or dead, I am with you to the end. He will send his host from heaven to help you, and nothing shall be impossible to you if ye have faith. As ye have faith, so shall your powers be. As ye have faith, so shall your blessings be. As ye have faith, as ye have faith, faith, faith. This is the balance. Faith, faith, faith. This is the balance. Faith, faith, faith. This is the balance. Faith, faith.
O my God, O thou forgiver of sins, bestower of gifts, dispeller of afflictions, verily I beseech thee to forgive the sins of such as have abandoned the physical garment and have ascended to the spiritual world. O my Lord, purify them from trespasses, dispel their sorrows, and change their darkness into light. Cause them to enter the garden of happiness, cleanse them with the most pure water, and grant them to behold thy splendors on the loftiest mount.
Friends, we now move into a portion of the evening where reflections and tributes will be shared, offered by those whose lives were touched, guided, and enriched by Dr. O'Toole's presence and work. These reflections stand as living testimony to a life devoted to service, education, and the advancement of humanity. I'd like to begin by reading a tribute from His Excellency, Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. I am saddened at the news of the passing of Mr. Brian O'Toole. His death marks a solemn moment in the story of education in Guyana. He was a visionary and a pioneer of private education. Mr. O'Toole's contribution quietly reshaped the future of education in our country. As founder of the School of the Nations, he believed deeply in the transformative power of learning. His tireless efforts over the past 30 years helped fashion an institution that became a respected center of educational excellence. Under his guidance, the School of the Nations grew into more than a place of instruction. It became a community of possibility. Thousands of students passed through its classrooms, receiving a sound education and opportunities for higher learning that expanded their horizons and altered the course of their lives. In nurturing young minds, Mr. O'Toole helped to nurture Guyana itself. His loss is more deeply felt at this juncture in our national journey. As Guyana advances towards a more modern educational system, his experience, wisdom, and steady leadership would have been valuable during this important transition. On behalf of myself and the government and people of Guyana, I extend heartfelt condolences to his wife, family, relatives, and the staff, students, and parents of School of the Nations. The nations mourn you, even as we give thanks for a life of purpose and service. Mr. Brian O'Toole will be forever remembered for his enduring role in educating our nation and for the generations whose lives bear the imprint of his vision and exertions in the cause of education. To allow everyone the opportunity to share and to help us keep the evening flowing smoothly, we kindly ask that each tribute be kept to about 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you so much for helping us honor this moment together. The floor is now open for tributes. Before, I'd like to call on Geraldine Mason Halls to deliver the first tribute.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with you some memories of the relationship I had with Dr. Brian O'Toole. It was sometime in the 80s that Brian reached out to me about a problem and need in our country. It was to do with disability. If you ask me what time that was in the 80s, I'm afraid time has passed. What is more important, what happened? You see, Brian lived in a community in which there was a family with a child who had a disability. And he was so concerned. Now, I'm a physiotherapist, and somehow he was able to talk with me. We spent many time together trying to figure out how we could make a difference in our society. This gave rise to the Guyana Community-Based Rehabilitation, CBR, which became a household word in our country. Out of that, the discussion centered, now what strategy can we use to reach a greater number of persons? As it was then, the rehabilitation services were mainly centered in Georgetown. And we came up with the idea, how about us training volunteers with a simple approach to reach children? We thought we would focus on children. This led to us developing a model which allowed us to train persons using material that we would prepare. And so Brian encouraged me to write as well. I was not one given to writing a lot. But between Brian, Roy McConkie, and myself, with the artwork being done by Barrington Braffett, a local artist, we produced enough material to work and train volunteers. And the material became so relevant that it was translated and used in countries around the world. Such was the kind of driving force of one who was committed. And even as we thought of how we could go around the country, sharing this model, this approach, we were supported through the ministries of health and education. And as it happened, we traveled long distances. Now, although I could drive, Brian was one who loved driving. And so we went to Berbice, to Essequibo, and around Guyana, even into the hinterland, we worked. This experience was one which brought many funny sides. I remember coming back from the quarantine, and we got to the New Amsterdam Stelling. And for those of you who have had the experience of being bitten by sandflies and mosquitoes, it made us so uncomfortable. But the fact is, we were satisfied. This experience led to us having the community-based rehabilitation program registered as a non-governmental organization. And over the years, as I've said before, it was a model which won the appeal of countries around the world. It was recognized by the World Health Organization as well as UNICEF. I can go on, but I won't. Just to say that sometimes life makes full circles. The last time that I saw Brian O'Toole, Dr. Brian O'Toole in person, was in 2018, when we both received national awards, the Golden Arrow of Achievement. And I thought to myself, isn't that something where you do things. Mine was in the area of disability, and Brian was in the area of educational leadership. I thank God for giving me that opportunity of being able to work with Brian and to lay a foundation which can be emulated and help in the transformation of the lives of persons with disabilities. Thank you for this opportunity of sharing.
Good night, everyone. One of our dear colleagues, Ms. Tassalika Fox, could not be here tonight, so she asked me to share some reflections on her behalf, and so I'll try my best to represent Taz in this endeavor. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I want to share a few reflections on a man many of us lovingly called Doc. For me, Doc was more than a colleague. We worked closely together for almost 18 years at Nations. And during that time, he became a mentor, a guide, and someone who quietly but firmly pushed me to become better. Doc had a deep commitment to service. He truly believed that education was much more than academics. To him, education was about building a complete person, someone who was morally grounded, a critical thinker, and a humanitarian. That belief shaped every decision he made. On a personal level, Doc pushed me to my potential, even when I wasn't sure myself. He encouraged me to pursue my master's degree and to join the very first batch of AIB MBA students. I might not have taken that step without his confidence in me. After I completed my master's degree, I began my doctorate journey. When Doc heard that I had started my doctorate, he came into my office just to tell me how happy he was and how confident he felt in me. That moment meant more to me than he probably ever knew. As I continued along this journey, I am determined to complete this in his honor. He was also someone who believed strongly in creating opportunities for others. One of his favorite sayings was, "The pie can only slice into so many pieces, but we can create opportunities so everyone can benefit." That mindset defined his leadership. He didn't believe in limiting growth, he believed in expanding it. And of course, we can't talk about Doc without mentioning his humor. At the beginning of almost every training session, during his introduction, he would ask the group a question. Whoever sat closest to him would suddenly discover that their bag, whether a purse, a lunch bag, or anything else at all, had become the prize he was offering for the correct answer. It never failed to break the ice and make people feel at ease. But the moment that stand out most for me, the only true one that changed me, happened when I was a principal of sixth form. Two young men wrote a very well-articulated letter to me and to Dr. O'Toole. They were challenging parts of the school dress code. At the time, the sixth form dress code was already quite relaxed. Students could wear jeans with their nation's polo shirts. But these young men argued that they should be allowed to wear slippers and shorts. Outrageous, at least that's what I thought. When Doc and I met to discuss the letter, I expected him to share my frustration. Instead, I was completely surprised. He wasn't outraged at all. He was impressed. Impressed by how well written the letter was, by the research they had done, and by the confidence they showed. He saw something deeper than the issue of a dress code. He invited the young men into the meeting, but instead of praising them, he scolded them, not for challenging authority, but for using their talent and drive to do something so small. He told them there were far greater causes worth fighting for. At the time, the government had introduced VAT on private education, a move that could have made it impossible for many students to continue their education. I watched in awe as Doc inspired and empowered these same young men to redirect their passion. Those same students later went on to lead student council. They organized petitions that garnered almost over 14,000 signatures. They joined us on media appearances and helped raise national awareness. And because of that effort, the government was forced to remove VAT on private education. That moment was life-changing for those young men and for me. It showed me who Doc truly was, a leader who didn't just manage systems but shaped people, someone who saw potential where others saw problem, someone who believed deeply in the power of education to change lives. Doc's legacy lives on in the students he inspired and the staff he encouraged and the lives he quietly transformed. May we honor him by continuing his work and the work he believed in so deeply. Thank you, Tasalika.
I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge the presence of Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Afrin Ali, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. President.
Good evening, the family of Dr. O'Toole, colleagues, well-wishers. When I think of Dr. Brian O'Toole, I do not think of titles, honors, or institutions. I think of a man who trusted people, who saw possibilities before others saw readiness, and who believed deeply that good work, once begun, should be carried forward by capable hands. I first came to know Brian in 2004 when he gave me the opportunity to work at the School of the Nations. A year later, he took a further step of confidence and entrusted me with my first role in administration. That gesture was not unusual for him. Dr. O'Toole had a rare ability to recognize potential early, and more importantly, the generosity to act on that recognition. He did not cling to control. Instead, he built, guided, and then stepped aside so that others could grow. Over the years, I worked closely with him during some of the school's most significant transitions. Together, we navigated the shift from CSEC to Cambridge O-levels and later to Cambridge IGCSE. We worked to establish the school as a SAT center, to introduce a Cambridge teachers training program, and to open pathways that connected our students and teachers to international standards and opportunities. These were not small undertakings, and they required vision, courage, and a willingness to trust others to carry responsibility. Dr. O'Toole's trust was practical as well as philosophical. I remember a moment when he was traveling in a part of the world where access was difficult, and he calmly shared his credit card details with me so that a Cambridge program he believed in could go ahead without delay. There was no drama in this act, only confidence, a clarity of purpose, and an unwavering focus on what needed to be done. Even today, there are systems and platforms that still bear his name, and quietly we continue logging into those systems to keep things moving. In many ways, that feels symbolic of how his work endures, present, functional, and still shaping outcomes. Dr. O'Toole was a man who loved the beginnings. He would start something with energy and conviction, ensure it was placed in capable hands, and then moved on to the next challenge. His satisfaction came not from holding on, but from seeing others succeed. He believed that education was not about institutions alone, but about people, students, teachers, and administrators, being given the chance to rise to their best selves. Beyond our personal working relationship, his broader contribution to education in Guyana and beyond is undeniable. He devoted his life to building systems rooted in excellence, service, and moral purpose. Together with his wife, Mrs. Pamela O'Toole, he helped establish an educational philosophy that valued discipline alongside compassion and achievement alongside service. His work reached far beyond our school or one university, touching communities and shaping opportunities for countless individuals. Today, as I stand here as the principal of our high school, I am acutely aware that my own journey is inseparable from his faith in me all those years ago. I know I am not alone in that experience. Many of us here carry similar stories of doors opened, of encouragement given, of responsibility offered before we felt fully ready. To Dr. O'Toole's family, please know that his legacy is not abstract. It lives on in the institutions he helped to build, in the people he mentored, and in the quiet, steady, continuations of the work he began. His influence remains woven into daily practice, decision-making, and purpose. Dr. Brian O'Toole lived a life of vision, trust, and service. He planted seeds, stepped back, and allowed others to grow. For that, and for so much more, we give thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Budi. I'd now like to invite the President, Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali.
Thank you very much, Mrs. O'Toole, and the family of nations, the wider community here. Today, in Dr. O'Toole's life, we are celebrating people and community, cemented together by love, inspiration, and spirituality that brought about confidence, service, and humanity in every life Dr. O'Toole would have touched. So this evening, we gather in a familiar Guyanese way for a night of reflection. We are joined together by loss and by memory to acknowledge the passing of Dr. Brian O'Toole. In doing so, we extend our condolences to his wife, his children, his relatives, and friends. and to the wider community of the School of Nations, which must now come to terms with the absence of the man who helped give it shape and purpose. Dr. O'Toole was a quiet man. He did not seek attention, nor did he cultivate public acclaim. There was in him none of the relentlessness for recognition that often accompanies achievement. And yet, through steady effort and deliberate choices, he altered the educational landscape of Guyana in ways that are now impossible to ignore. His legacy does not announce itself loudly. It exists instead in the discipline, order, seriousness, and ambition of the institution he helped to build. The School of Nations stands as his most visible contribution, but to speak of its present standing without recalling the circumstances of its founding is to misunderstand the scale of the undertaking. When the school was established, Guyana was a country long shaped by a tradition of public education. For decades, schooling had been almost exclusively the responsibility of the state. Private education, particularly of the size and aspiration that Dr. O'Toole envisioned, was tentative and unproven. The risks were real. The market was small and uncertain. The capital investment was heavy. There was no guarantee that parents would embrace a new model or that the idea would survive long enough to justify the costs. To proceed under such conditions required not enthusiasm but conviction, not impulse but patience. Dr. O'Toole understood that institutions of value do not emerge quickly, and that nation building in any serious sense demands time, endurance, and faith in standards not yet widely accepted. He invested more than money. He invested reputation, effort, and years of careful attention. The rewards were never immediate, but they were lasting. Today, the School of the Nations stands as evidence of what deliberate vision, pursued without haste, can achieve. It is a living institution, shaping generations and quietly influencing expectations across the wider educational sector. Yet, Dr. O'Toole was not defined solely by what he built. Those who knew him remember a man of courtesy and ease. He was friendly, but never careless, helpful, but never intrusive. He listened more than he spoke. He disagreed without bitterness. And I can tell you this. Authority, when he exercised it, was understood and therefore effective. He treated people evenly. Parents, students, teachers, support staff, visitors, each encountered the same calm respect. There was no performance in this. It was simply the way he was. That disposition found its way into the culture of the school itself, where dignity and seriousness coexist with warmth. His devotion to family was equally central to his life. He was present, attentive, and guided by a clear moral compass. His professional responsibilities never displaced his personal ones. Instead, they reinforced each other, revealing a man who understood that achievement without balance is a diminishing thing. After the injury he sustained in a violent attack, his pace slowed. The body, as it does, imposed its limits, but the temperament remained unchanged. He continued to meet others with kindness and patience, offering an example of resilience that was never that was never demonstrated in a way that we consider today false. Never self-conscious. His death is a loss felt beyond those who knew him personally. Guyana has lost an educator, a builder, and a moral presence. In a society often tempted by the immediate need, he stood for long vision. In a time when civility is fragile, he practiced it consistently. For the School of the Nations, his passing marks the loss of a co-founder, but not the end of his influence. The School of the Nation remains his monument, quiet, functional, enduring. Through his students, his teachers, and his standards, his work continues. Tonight, we reflect on a life shaped by purpose rather than display. Dr. Brian O'Toole leaves Guyana richer, not only in institutions, but in example. May he find rest in the knowledge that his life was spent in service, and that his efforts affects all with long-lasting impact. May his soul rest in peace, and may God grant the family, loved ones and friends, the patience, faith, and understanding to understand this transition of life, and give you the power to accept such transition as a temporary form of reuniting in the future. May God bless you, all of us, and all of Guyana. Thank you.
I don't know how you can follow this up. Well, good evening, everyone. Adopting protocol previously established. My name is Darren Hall. I am a past student at School of the Nations and was part of the 5th form graduating class of 2020 and the 6th form graduating class of 2022. For the 13 years that I've been a student at School of the Nations, starting in 2009, I have come to know Mr. O'Toole for so long that I basically thought of him as family. I thought of him as like a grandfather that I never had, because he gave so much to children and people like me who are seen as different, as less than others. Speaking as a person on the autism spectrum, I started my nation's journey as part of the Special Unit Department, a department that catered to children who are seen as more or less different than our normal counterparts. They're seen as inferior as such. But there is one thing that Mr. and Mrs. O'Toole always believed, that special needs students hold visible and invisible qualities that makes them true people of society and true leaders of Guyana. And as such, we thrive under the pressure. We show our parents, we show our colleagues, and we show our teachers that we are more than who we are. We are the people who are the future of this country. We are the people who are the future of this world, either as leaders, as educators, as anything they set their mind to. We are truly one human under the love of God and under the guidance of those who believe in us. Mr. O'Toole has shown each student like me that it is possible to show the world that we can make a difference. And so I will read you a piece of an article that I wrote when I graduated in 2022. So, to Mr. and Mrs. O'Toole, thank you for allowing me for being part of this school that caters for kids who are looked at differently than others. If it wasn't for your acceptance, I would not have become the student and person that I am today. And to the children and grandchildren, your father, your grandfather was the best damn person that I've ever met in my life. He is in a better place now, and rest assured, his memory will live in the students, past and present, in the memory of the parents and everyone who has associated him. He is truly immortal. And in closing, I would read you a quote from the late Ronald Reagan about leadership, because in my opinion, Mr. O'Toole was a really wonderful leader. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is one of that gets people to do the greatest things. And he guides all of us. And while I may be the first student to speak, I certainly will not be the last. So, Mr. O'Toole, we love you, and we will honor you the best way we can. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. There's a song that says, if you give more than you take, help more than you hurt, and take the time to lift others when they're down, there's a place for people like that in this world. Dr. Brian O'Toole was one of those people. He taught us qualities of a true leader. We have known Uncle Brian for approximately 18 years, and when it comes to the children of Tiger Bay, he held us close to his heart. He understood the value of having a solid academic foundation. When many looked at the children of Tiger Bay community and saw nothing, Dr. O'Toole and his wife chose to see something. They saw potential, they saw worth, they saw a future, and they took a chance on us when others did not. They opened their homes, opened their school, and most importantly, opened their hearts to us when it was not easy. Through Tiger Bay After School Project, many of us were given not just a second chance, but a third, fourth, and even fifth chance at a better life. Uncle Brian and Auntie Pam opened their doors to us, creating a safe space where we could learn, grow, and dream bigger than our circumstances. Uncle Brian created programs not only for Tiger Bay, but other communities. What we all received through these programs were priceless. We received hope, guidance, and the belief that we mattered. Because of Uncle Brian, lives were changed, families were lifted, and dreams that once felt impossible suddenly felt within reach. Some of us are standing here today along with our children, our relatives, and our friends because someone believed in us before we believed in ourselves. Tonight we stand as living proof that kindness makes a difference, that one act of compassion can change a life, and that when someone chooses to shine a light for those who felt lost, that light can carry beyond our one generation. We, the youth of Tiger Bay, greatly appreciate what he has done for our community. We are forever grateful. Even though he is no longer with us, he will forever live in our heart. Rest in perfect peace, Uncle Brian. Thank you.
Mr. President, Mr. O'Toole and family, and the rest of the gathering. My name is Kamal Prasad. They popularly call me KP. I have known Mr. Brian O'Toole, or Doc, as we normally call him, since in the early 80s in Lirupungani, where I used to teach and then ventured into the education department. When we met I was the district education officer acting in that region. And as one speaker said before, special education and attention to special needs were more centered on the coastland. But Dr. Brian O'Toole saw it fit to go into the remote areas of Guyana to do outreaches. And he started the CBR program in the Rupununi. CBR meaning community-based rehabilitation, where he embarked on a program to train people to look at people with disabilities in their communities, which made it simpler rather than the persons with disabilities had to come out and go to far areas for attention. Mr. Brian O'Toole, he was a very humble person. We became very close friends. We traveled long distances in the Rupununi, and I can tell you, he was a very jovial person. The long distances sometimes became so short because of his jokes he will make. And we will try our best to work hand in hand. I'm in the education department. He doing extension work in the region. He will always stretch his hand out and help the Department of Education in Region 9. Transportation at that time, in the early 80s, was a nightmare. Sometimes you break down in the savannah and you have to walk distance, long distances. But Brian had a new Land Rover, which he used to help the education department to distribute things like exercise books, home economics, equipment, garden tools, milk, biscuits. He will always come in the Department of Education to ask us what you have to take to Sand Creek, or what you have to take to Ishalton, or I'm going Karasabay tomorrow. Pack up what you have, and I'll see how much I can take. He was that kind of a person, very kind-hearted. I left the Rupununi in '94, and I was made to understand that Mr. Brian O'Toole went back into the Rupununi and did a lot more work where education is concerned. I can go on and on, but at this juncture, I would like to say on behalf of my family, Linda and the boys and their families, and myself, I wish to extend our sincere condolences to Pam. We always call her Pam, and the rest of the family. May this death unite you more than ever before and give you strength to carry on. Thank you very much.
Hello, friends. For those who have yet to meet, my name is Rex. And like all of you here and those watching on the live stream, my life was definitely touched by Uncle Brian. My first memory of Uncle Brian was 40 years ago. I was his student, and he was my art teacher. And my last memory of Uncle Brian was a conversation 2 years ago about the prospects for transformation in Guyana. He was brimming with ideas and excitement about the future, and really pleading with me to come home to Guyana. I have a lot of stories I can tell, and maybe later we can gaff and share about them all, but those two memories for me really make up the essence of Uncle Brian. He was a teacher who never stopped teaching, and he was a visionary who really never stopped dreaming. A couple of days ago, I was in touch with a friend. Some of you might remember her. Her name is Anissa Cherniewski. I should say Dr. Anissa Cherniewski. She has a PhD in economics from Columbia and worked with some of the foremost institutions in global development. She wrote me a reflection about Uncle Brian, and I feel inclined to share it with all of you. Anissa says here, and this feels very true for me about Uncle Brian, she says, "I love when people completely embrace a new place and people as their own. It's a special type of spiritual phenomenon that's like an antidote to colonialism. It's a spiritual force that I can't explain." As you all know, Uncle Brian was a Baha'i, as am I, as I try to be. Uncle Brian really wrote into his heart the essence of Baha'u'llah's message, the oneness of humanity. His heart really burned with loving kindness for all who crossed his path. Boy, did Uncle Brian love this country. You cut his white skin, the man would bleed dull, I'm telling you. Yeah. He became a true Guyanese. But he really loved this country, loved the people of this country. And with true love, it's not all pretty, right? True love is a fight. And he fought for the people of Guyana, for the children that just spoke. He took bullets for this country. And I was reflecting on the passage that was read earlier, and I'd like to read it. "The soul that hath remained faithful to the cause of God and stood unwaveringly firm in his path shall, after his ascension, be possessed of such power that all the worlds which the Almighty hath created can benefit through him." My friends, do we believe these words? Be possessed of such power after his ascension that all the worlds which the Almighty hath created can benefit through him. My friends, Uncle Brian has not left Guyana, and he will never leave the people of Guyana. He will always be teaching and always be dreaming for this nation. I love you, Auntie Pam, and everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have two more persons in line to give their tribute. We will take those two persons now, and then we'll have a brief intermission where we can have a few snacks and refreshments, and then we'll reconvene in 15 minutes after that. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. All protocols observed. I'm here to read two short messages or memories from some volunteers and a coordinator who served with the community-based rehabilitation program in the Rupununi. Our first speaker spoke about her role as a national coordinator alongside Dr. Brian O'Toole. And we have these three people. For some reason, they're all in Holland at the moment, who I know work closely with Brian in a way that I myself probably did. So I'd want to read from Modest Janssen and Karen Van Elk. They were VSO volunteers here, and they were sent to the Rupununi. So from Modest and Karen, they said, "We, Karen and Modest, met Brian in 1994 as the director for the CBR program in Guyana. We were VSO volunteers and a bit excited to meet Brian. He was the man we should work with for the next 2 years. We were impressed. The director himself came to tell us everything about the CBR program. Within a few minutes, we both felt comfortable and relaxed with Brian. He was enthusiastic, had humor, was interested in us, and made us feel very welcome. That was a strength of Brian. He could really see a person. He was interested and wanted to hear their stories, their suffering, and their joy. It didn't matter if it was a minister, a high-situated person, or a farmer in the hinterlands. In the Rupununi where we worked, he was very loved. He slung his hammock next to the workshop participants. He did eat the same farine meal. He drank the same water. He was one of us. One of his quotes was, "Altogether, we are a bouquet of flowers, adults and children with and without a challenge." The bouquet without the flower, Brian, will be less colorful. It's great that we have known him, Karen and Modest. And from Juliet Solomon, she says, "The CBR program in the Rupununi tells the story of how local knowledge and local practices could be used to strengthen approaches linked to primary health care, early child stimulation, and early identification of disabilities." Brian's larger-than-life personality was one of the keys to the success of the CBR program in the Rupununi. His spirit of joy and enthusiasm caught on, and the program caused a dynamic revolution. Another remarkable and winning trait of Brian was his spirit of inclusivity. He embraced everyone with warmth and sincerity. He saw a talent, a gift, a strength in each person. This created confident and empowered CBR teams. The health workers and educators who formed these teams became stronger as spirits aligned and deepened. One could see how Brian's gentle and caring approach spoke to the sweet and peaceful nature of the Rupununi people. His ability to create a fun and light atmosphere during the training workshops helped to bring out the humorous side of participants and created a tremendous air of relaxation. Brian's sense of humor and joyful trait were great at the workshops, but was rather useful when we got stuck or the vehicle broke down. Thank you, Brian. You are a remarkable soul, a delightful brother, and a great friend. We will remember you. Continue to travel well. Thank you.
Good evening. Dr. Brian O'Toole was far more than the director of School of the Nations. He was a visionary who helped shape generations of lives in Guyana, including my own. I attended School of the Nations from the age of 2, beginning when the school was still located on Parade Street. Having been part of the school from its earliest days, I witnessed firsthand the dedication, perseverance, and quiet strength it took to build what the school has become today. What Dr. O'Toole created was not just an educational institution, but a family. The sense of belonging, discipline, compassion, and moral grounding that defined the school did not happen by chance. It was the result of years of hard work, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in the power of education. Alongside his wife, Mrs. Pamela O'Toole, he worked tirelessly to expand access to quality education in Guyana and to nurture students not only academically, but as whole individuals. Although I wasn't the closest with Dr. O'Toole, his impact on me was deeply personal. Even after 6 years of no longer attending School of the Nations, whenever I would visit, whether it was for school-related purposes or simply to say hi, he always remembered me. That simple recognition meant more to me than words can express. It reflected the genuine care he had for his students and the lasting connections he built with them. Dr. O'Toole believed in shaping character as much as intellect. His influence extended beyond classrooms and textbooks. It lived in the values he instilled and the standards he upheld and the example he set. The lessons learned under his leadership continue to guide many of us long after we've left the school's wall. Today, I hope he can rest peacefully, knowing that his legacy lives on, not only through School of the Nations, but through every life he touched. His work is reflected in the confidence, compassion, and purpose carried by his students into the world. The impact of Dr. Brian O'Toole's life and service will continue to be felt for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. These tributes have been very touching, very beautiful. However, we're going to take a short intermission, a short break. There are refreshments upstairs, and there's also refreshments downstairs as well too. So please find yourself over to the servers. Take a walk, have a chat. We'll reconvene in 15 minutes. And I'm available, I'm here, so if you'd like to put your name down for the tributes, because please let them continue. I'd like to hear so much more from the life of Dr. Brian O'Toole. So we'll have a quick 15 minutes intermission, and I'll see you after that. Thank you.
O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. I raise no voice at dawn save in thy commemoration and praise. O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. I raise no voice at dawn save in thy commemoration and praise. Thy love encompasseth me, and thy grace is perfect. My hope is in thee. O God, give me, O God, give me a new life at every instant, and bestow upon me the breaths of the Holy Spirit at every moment. O God, give me, O God, give me a new life at every instant, and bestow upon me the breaths of the Holy Spirit at every moment, in order that I may remain steadfast in thy love, attain unto great felicity, in order that I may remain steadfast in thy love, attain unto great felicity, that I may perceive the light, perceive the manifest light, and be in the state of utmost tranquility. Oh, perceive the light, perceive the manifest light, and be in the state of utmost tranquility and submissiveness. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate. Verily thou art the giver, the forgiver, the compassionate.
O Son of Love, thou art but one. O Son of Love, thou art but one step away from the glorious heights above, in the celestial tree of love. Love, 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 love. Take thou one pace, and with the next advance into the immortal realm. Give ear unto that which hath been revealed by the pen of glory. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love.
Oh my God, there is no one but thee to allay the anguish of my soul. Ooh. Thou art my highest aspiration. Oh my God, oh my God, ooh, ooh. My heart is wedded to none save thee, and such as thou dost love, I solemnly declare my life and death are both for thee. Ooh, they are for you. My heart is wedded to none save thee, and such as thou dost love, I solemnly declare my life and death are both for thee. Ooh, they are for you. They are for you. For you. Oh my God, there is no one but thee to allay the anguish of my soul. Thou art my highest aspiration. Oh my God, oh my God, ooh,
O son of utterance, turn thy face. O son of utterance, turn thy face unto mine. Unto mine, and renounce all save me. For my sovereignty endureth, and my dominion perisheth not. If thou seekest another than me, yeah. If thou searchest the universe forevermore, thy quest will be in vain. Thy quest will be in vain. son of utterance, turn thy face. O son of utterance, turn thy O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee. O thou beloved of my heart and soul, I have no refuge save thee.
Check like this.
I raise no voice at all, except in thy commemoration and praise. Thy love encompasseth me, and thy grace is perfect. My hope is in thee. 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 May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of His hand.
to meet again. May God hold you in the palm of His hand, in the palm of His hand.
There are traces, a circle in the sand, heaven spoken through the wise one's hand on the shore of oneness. I leave myself behind and step inside. There are traces, a remedy divine, living waters. He unseals the choice wine, divine healer. His finger on the pulse of all mankind. If thou lovest me, turn away from thyself. And if thou seekest my pleasure, regard not thine own, that thou mayest die in me, and I may eternally live in thee. Eternally live in thee. Unravel secrets of unity and peace under the branches of the divine low tree, gentle breezes whispering celestial designs. And I approach the circle, its warm embrace on the shore of oneness, by the sea of grace, through rings of fire. I hold on to your hand and step inside. If thou lovest me, turn away from thyself. If thou seekest my pleasure, regard not thine own, that thou mayest die in me, and I may eternally live in thee. Eternally live in thee. Eternally live in thee.
The time hath come. The time hath come when, as a thank offering for this bestowal, ye should grow in faith and constancy as day followeth day, and should draw ever nearer to the Lord your God, becoming magnetized to such a degree, and so aflame that your holy melodies in praise of the beloved will reach upward to the company on high, and that each one of you, even as a nightingale in this rose garden of God, will glorify the Lord of hosts, will glorify the Lord of hosts, and become a teacher of all who dwell, of all who dwell, of all who dwell on earth.
Oh, my servant, free thyself from the fetters of this world. Oh, my servant, free thyself from the fetters of this world. My servant, free thyself from the fetters of this world. Oh, my servant, free thyself from the fetters of this world, and loose thy soul from the prison of sin, the prison of sin. come to thee no more.
God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. In him let the trusting trust. God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. In him let the trusting trust. God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. In him let the trusting trust. God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. In him let the trusting trust. God is sufficient, sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. God is sufficient, sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. In him let the trusting trust. God is sufficient unto me. He verily is the all sufficing. In him let the trusting trust. Make us rich in thee. mankind. O thou who art our life and light. Give us a realization of unity, that we may see no one save thee. Give us a realization of unity, that we may see no one save thee. Make us rich in thee. Glory be to thee for thy manifestation of love to mankind. O thou who art our life and light. Verily, in thee we will find comfort and strength. Verily, in thee we will find comfort and strength.
If it be thy pleasure, if it be thy pleasure, make me to grow as a tender herb. If it be thy pleasure, if it be thy pleasure, make me to grow as a tender herb in the meadows of thy grace. Ooh, ooh, of thy grace. Ooh, that the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will may stir me up. Oh, the gentle winds of thy will, the gentle winds of thy will, that the gentle winds of thy will may stir me up, may stir me up. Ooh, may stir me up. And bend me into conformity with thy pleasure. Oh, and bend me into conformity with thy pleasure. In such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness may be wholly directed by thee, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness, in such wise that my movement and stillness may be wholly directed by thee. Sun will a handful of days, our vanishing lives be gone, and we shall pass into the hollow that is dark. For those who speak no more, and wherefore we must bind our hearts to the manifest beauty and kindle love's flame, and kindle love's flame, and burn away, and burn away, and burn away, and burn away. In its heat, so kindle love's flame, and burn away. In its heat, and burn away, and burn away, and burn away.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I know that was quite an extent. I'm so sorry. He's giving me an extra voice.
Like this.
Hi, everybody. I know that was quite an extended intermission. However, we can reconvene, so if we can find ourselves back upstairs. I know there are a few of you downstairs. We'll wait like a minute or two. I hope the snacks were refreshing. Great. All right, so we'll reconvene the the tributes from Mr. Hunt, starting with Mr. Albert Hunt.
Thank you. I'm the tallest person in the building, and that's why I'm going to keep sitting. If I attempt to stand, I might be going through the roof, so I keep sitting. Good night, everyone. I am not a person given to protocol because I accept each and every individual as equal. I'll just say good night. I think it was in 2017 that for the first time I met Mr. Brian O'Toole. I never even heard the word O'Toole, never heard it before. I was a taxi driver, I had my own car, and I lost my car to bandits. After losing 3 cars, I decided I'm not going to go back on the road. I looked for a 8 to 5 job. I saw an advertisement in the papers for a driver, and there was a number, and I called the number, and the gentleman said to me, come at School of the Nations 9:30 tomorrow. And I went at Parade Ground, Parade Street. I know School of the Nations was in Kingston. And after I realized I was wrong, I called him back, and then he directed me here. When I came, I met a man. He was the operations manager at the time by the name of Rory. And he interviewed me. He asked me so many questions, I was wondering if I had the job or not. But after answering all those questions, he said to me, tomorrow come back 10 o'clock, you will have to meet the director. Ouch. You know, there's an old saying, come see me and come live with me is 2 different things. I recognize that as being truth in the life of Brian O'Toole. I went the morning and I was ushered into his office, and believe me, that man, the interview was not an interview. He didn't ask me where I worked before. He didn't ask to see my driver's license. He didn't ask me if I work with police clearance or all these things. No, no, no. He said, sit down, Mr. Hunt, let's talk like man. And he asked me, he said, tell me about you. And we started to talk. He asked me some questions personally, and I answered them. And he asked me, said, how desperate are you for this job? I said, sir, it depends on how desperate the job is to employ me. I mean, he was that humorous. We laughed. And he asked me, said, Mr. Hunt, if you to get this job, how important will it be to you? What is the most important thing in your life? I said, sir, it is not a thing that is important in my life. What is important to me is God. God come first, you and your job gonna come after. He said, you're that serious? I said, yes. My God comes first in everything. He picked up his phone and he called back Mr. Rory. And he asked, how many more interviews do we have? He said, 3 more. It's okay. Don't call anybody else. Mr. Hunt is going to get a job. I started to work immediately. As I said before, come see me and come live with me are 2 different things. When I started working here, staff came and introduced themselves to me. Well, I'm very pulled in. I don't really mix much. And one man said to me, you look so disciplined. You've been in the army or what? I know you want a conversation. Make a long story short. He started to tell me, bye, if you're going to walk here, this and that. And you see the boss, oh God, he's a hard man. He don't make joke, he rough. Just how he take you and he gonna knock you off. Come see me and come live with me is 2 different things. I sat and I listened to him. And if I had taken to heart the things that staff said to me, probably I would have left the job. Don't ever judge another man by somebody else's perception. Know the individual for yourself. Not long after, I had a situation that caused me to see the real side of Mr. Brian, and that's what I want to talk about. The children used to go to Colgreen Pool and swim. I was a driver here, so I would take the children and bring them back. One day there was a little child, I don't know if you want to say he's delinquent, he's disobedient or what. But he refused to go into the bus and sit down. He's sitting by the door. And all the teachers are begging him, come, and he start to go on. So I sat and I looked at him. And I said, my man, you're mad? I think I'm more mad than you. You know, if a snake bites you, it spits venom. But it takes venom to fight venom. So if you're mad, I am mad too. So I got up out of the bus. I went around to the child. I made an attempt to pick him up. One teacher said, oh God, Mr. Hunt left you. Don't touch the boy. You don't know the boy parents. I said, well, I can't leave him because he was sitting at the door. For me to close the door, I have to press a switch and it would slam, blam. Or I had to drive the bus with him sitting there. So I bodily pick him up. Took him to the back of this bus, put him to sit and buckle him up. And I drove and came in the school compound. Not long after, I was summoned to Doc's office. Come see me and come live with me. 2 different things. The way I got the message to go into Dr. O'Toole's office, I already prepared myself to exit the job based on the things I would have heard about the man. Never knew him before. When I got into his office, there was the child's parent there. Well, I know he hadn't a gun, because if he had a gun, he would have shot me. This man was so agitated. He was so, look, this man looked at me and said, this is the kind of people you always got walking here, handling people, children, and this man went off. So I stood up like this. And I listened. He said what he had to say. And then Mr. O'Toole turned to me and said, Mr. Hunt, we do not allow those things in this institution. You don't put your hand on students. I don't think I cannot tolerate that. Well, I'd be ready to go anyhow based on what I had heard before. Come see me and come live with me are 2 different things. So I said, okay. Listen to them and they finished. Mr. O'Toole turned to me and said, well, Mr. Hunt, what is it you have to say for yourself? And the expression on Doc's face said to me, you best got a damn good something to say. So I said, all I can say is, let's go down to the bus and let me demonstrate what happened. So the three of us, we went down to the bus, and I demonstrated to the guy. I said, let me show you what's for. I said, to open and close this bus door, I got to press a switch. Listen, blam. I said, the guy was sitting there. And I turned to the father and said, would you have wanted me to close this door with your son sitting there like this? He said, no. I said, and if I didn't close the door, I had to drive the bus with him sitting there, which can be tragic. I said, would you have wanted me to do that? He said, no. So I said, so I picked him up, took him to the back and buckled him up. I said, now that I've said that, I think I'm ready to leave. Dr. O'Toole said, you ain't going nowhere. I got to talk with you. The father turned to me and he said, Mr. Hunt, I was like, excuse me, you know my name? I was that man and these people and all sort of thing first. He called me Mr. Hunt. He said, that is what happened. I said, yes, sir. And if I have to do it a second time, I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to drive the bus with your child sitting there. I wouldn't have to answer to you. I would have to answer to the police. And we went back up into Doc's office. Well, I'm not going to say what Doc said to me, but what Doc told me, it was so surprising to what I had heard when I came on the job first. I am saying again, come see me and come live with me. They are two different things. The Brian O'Toole I heard about is not the Brian O'Toole I worked for. Between Doc and I, we had a phrase we would use, because one time some students were coming in and I had to go and receive them at the airport. And he turned to me and said, Mr. Hunt, remember you representing nations. And I said to him, Doc, there is no second chance to make a first impression. He said, I hope your impression will justify nations. I mean, that was the type of person he was. He was that encouraging. He was fair. He was just. For the time that I worked for him, I have no regret. And I'll say this to Mistress O'Toole and the O'Toole family. If I could have done it again, I'll be back at Nations. May his soul rest in peace, and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hunt. I'd hand the mic over now to Terrence Simmons.
Good night, one and all. Thanks for the opportunity to say a few words in tribute to Brian. Much has been said this evening about the activities at the school, at the university, and personal experiences. Not much has been said about his early days. I was 12 years old when Brian arrived in Guyana in 1978. And we had our first encounter at the annual youth camp at Camp Madawini. And immediately we connected. And one of the things he mentioned was that, I had just gotten married and I had this young bride and we were raring to go someplace to pioneer. A lot has been said about Brian's contribution to development, to education, etc. But Brian and Pam came to Guyana first and foremost because they were Baha'is who wanted to pioneer. And pioneering is an opportunity where Baha'is would leave one part of the world where they either born or grew to settle in another part to help grow and develop that community. And Pam and Brian came to Guyana. I see Rexford smiling, and I will say, don't get confused by the color of his skin or anything of the sort. He's Guyanese to the bone. And they came to Guyana to pioneer, to settle here, to look for opportunities, and to help develop the Baha'i community. They settled in Peters Hall on the east bank of the Demerara, or the community of Eccles-Ramsburg. And we had an opportunity, the young people of which I'm a part of, had an opportunity to really experience the love, the generosity, the knowledge, etc. of Brian and Pam. We used to go to their home once or twice a week, where they introduced us to their library, which at the time was huge. You know, for us, you had 1 or 2 books at home, and you would go to Brian's library and Brian and Pam, and there was so much to read and to learn and to explore. And I mentioned this to a group last night. It was Brian who introduced me to Charlie Gordon, the book Flowers for Algernon, which is a beautiful, beautiful book if you ever have a chance to read it. But it was in that environment, that nurturing environment, that Brian opened us to worlds that we never dreamt of. And as a young person, 12, 13 years old, he literally inspired us. Every weekend, we would leave on Fridays, and we will go out to Essequibo or Berbice or Linden or Anorica or Rockstone, Aichuni, Kokwani, you just name it. And we would spend 3 or 2.5 days on the road, working in Baha'i communities, working in regular communities, promoting literacy, promoting an understanding of the faith. And I tell you, what Geraldine said at the beginning about traveling on the boat or on the ferry and spending long hours in conversation, I said last night, Brian is one of those persons, you will sit with him for hours, and there was never a conversation that wasn't meaningful, a conversation in which you didn't learn something, and he's always asking you about what you're doing and your next steps and so on and so forth. I say that to say this in conclusion. There are 2 persons that I could point to that I have known that have had a profound effect on my personal growth and development. One of them was another pioneer by the name of Ellen Widmer, Rexford's and Badier's and Angeline's mom. And the other person was Brian O'Toole. May his soul continue to journey through the spiritual worlds of God. And may Pam and Liam and Kieran and all the other members of the family find peace, rest, and solace. That Brian physically may have departed this plane, but he will always continue to inspire each and every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Terence. I'd now ask Randy Bentic.
before the certificates, before the formal training, before I even knew the word pedagogy, there was a place shaped by your quiet vision, a place where teaching felt purposeful. You built an environment where thinking mattered, where good teachers didn't appear by luck. You chose them. You gathered them. You trusted them to grow. I was in my early journey then, still learning my rhythm, still finding my voice in the classroom. But the standard was already set. And the minds that you brought together helped shape my own. We didn't always see eye to eye. I questioned, you pushed back. But in that tension, that necessary friction became a form of teaching. And I walked away stronger, clearer, wiser than I arrived. That was your gift. So tonight, I stand there not as a student, but as an early colleague whose long path in education found its first steady footing in a space you imagined. Rest now, builder of minds, shaper of teachers, keeper of high standards. Many of us still strive to reach. Your work continues in us, in every classroom, in every lesson, in every young teacher still finding their way. Sleep in peace, Dr. O'Toole. I thank you for all the memories and everything that you did for me. Sleep on.
Thank you so much, Randy. Now ask Andre Romaldo.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, wow, this is loud. Life has a way of connecting the dots. I remember when I was a child, I heard my mother speak about School of the Nations, and she had good things to say about School of the Nations. And so I would have said to her, I want to go there one day. Not knowing that when I turned 17, in the persons of Lal and Roshini, they would take Youth Can Move the World to Cariverton. And I was just out of school, and I was bored, but I was also very passionate about learning because I come from a family of educators. I am myself now a fourth generation educator. And so I became a part of Youth Can Move the World. And after the weekend training in Cariverton, we were invited to come to Georgetown for the summer training. And that's where I met then Dr. O'Toole, which after a couple of years after I became a Baha'i, became Uncle Brian, because Guyanese culture, we have that familiarity about us. But thinking about the purpose of tonight, a reflection on the life of Dr. O'Toole, Uncle Brian, I only think that it is fitting for me to really say how my life changed back in 2007 when I became a part of the Youth Can Move the World program. And it's because of Uncle Brian's vision for education, youth empowerment, community development, and transformation, which he got from the Baha'i faith. And so this conviction in inspiring people is what really captured my attention. Oh, and it was hell to tell my parents and my family that I no longer wanted to be a Christian. I wanted to be a Baha'i. But I became a Baha'i, and then my life changed because I found my purpose. And I think if we were to sum everything up about who Dr. O'Toole, Uncle Brian is and what he gave to us, it is that finding your purpose, finding who you are, finding your strengths and your powers. And then I became a junior youth animator, and I learned so much about working with youth, junior youth, and I gradually became that person who understood junior youth. And I often found myself walking that lonely path in my career as an educator when my colleagues could not see the spark in youth and children. And I want to say that that love for teaching, that love for children, that love for nurturing youth and for helping young people to find their purpose all started because of Uncle Brian's vision in the Youth Can Move the World program. And every time I see a youth doing something phenomenal, I always say the phrase in my head, youth can move the world. And so to Auntie Pam and the family, I want you to know that Uncle Brian, Dr. O'Toole, has touched my life, has helped me to find my purpose. And every time there's a conversation about special education needs and inclusive education, I like to see myself as an inclusive education advocate. That's what I say. Because oftentimes we tend to not focus on children and students who are differently abled. And sometimes it's very easy for us to exclude. So every time I find myself in spaces where my purpose as a voice for children who are differently abled and who are in need of quality education, I go all the way back to 2007. Youth Can Move the World, where it all began, Uncle Brian, the reason for that. So his legacy does live on, collectively and also individually. And so once again, Auntie Pam, on behalf of my family, I do express our sincerest sympathies to you and the rest of the family. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. I'd now like to call on Alana Chung.
Good evening. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Oops, sorry. We are gathered here not just in memory, but in profound gratitude to celebrate the life that was a true gift in our nation. A life dedicated to not wealth or status, but the most noble of pursuits, the education and empowerment of generations. Uncle Brian, as we all knew him, was more than an educator. He was a visionary. He was every child, not just a student, but a radiant soul, brimming with potential to contribute to the betterment of our world. As a true Baha'i, his life was a beautiful reflection of the principle of that service to humanity is the highest form of worship. I remember service trips having students from Nancy Campbell in Canada come to Guyana for service and involving the students at School of the Nations. He dreamed of a place where education and service walked hand in hand. He understood that filling a mind with knowledge was one thing, but nurturing a heart for service was truly molded character. And it's molded me to who I am today. At the School of the Nations, academic excellence was always paired with the profound question, how will I use this to help others? He built more than a school. He built a community where children learned that sweeping a neighbor's yard was more important than solving math questions, where planting a tree was a lesson in environmental stewardship, where visiting an elderly was part of a curriculum in compassion. He showed us that education, at its best, doesn't prepare you for a living, it prepares you for life, a purpose in life. Today, his legacy is not just in buildings or in accolades, but in thousands of lives he's touched. It is in the doctor who treats patients with kindness, the entrepreneur who runs an ethical business, the teacher who inspires her own students, the community volunteers who plant and garden, all who carry within them the seeds he's so carefully planted. Uncle Brian's vision was clear: to light a candle of knowledge and service in every heart. We will miss his wisdom, his gentle strength, and his unwavering faith, but his work continues. It continues in every act of service, performance by students of his school. It continues in every idea that education is a force of unity and transformation. Thank you, Dr. O'Toole, for your tireless service, your boundless love, and your luminous vision. You have left us a blueprint for a better world, and we pledge to honor you by continuing to build it. On behalf of my mom, grandparents, uncle, and myself, I would like to express our sincere condolences to Auntie Pam, who was his pillar in all he did. His sons and their family, he is in a better place. May your radiant soul find eternal peace in the Abha kingdom. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. All right. As we bring this night of reflection to a close, we are reminded that a life dedicated to service does not conclude, it continues, carried forward by those it has influenced. Dr. Brian O'Toole's legacy lives on in the institutions strengthened, in values quietly instilled, in lives, our lives, guided towards purpose and unity. On behalf of the family and the organizing committee, thank you for joining us in this night of reflection. May the essence of unity, service, and faith that defined Dr. O'Toole's life continue to inspire us all in the days ahead. Thank you, and good night.
Test.
I just want to quickly share details of the funeral tomorrow. Venue for the funeral, of course, is the National Cultural Center. Viewing begins from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. The funeral ceremony starts from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And there's a final viewing at 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Of course, you can find the live stream on Facebook and social media if you'd like to view online. And then burial at the La Repentier ceremony at 2 p.m. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Test.
Thy pleasure make me to grow as a tender herb. If it be